To copy the piano sound from Idea 10, you just need this free piano plugin and my special EQ settings. Yes, that's right, I recreated the exact sound from Idea 10 and you can get that sound too. Stick around, I will show you step by step exactly how to do it so you can get that beautiful Idea 10 sound yourself. So I first saw this question when it popped up in Reddit and also in some comments in my YouTube videos and also on musical forums where people are wondering how can you get that special, beautiful sound that Gibran Alcocer uses, and particularly in Idea 10. And that's exactly the answer I found and I'm gonna share with you right now. Alright, so I am here inside my Logic Pro session. And let's first listen to the original track, which is the Spotify version of Gibran Alcocer's Idea 10. Listen to this. All right, and now we will listen to our version, or what will be our version after we are done with this tutorial. It will sound like this. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that almost the same? Can you hear a difference? Now I'm sure if you're a professional audio engineer or just musician or have good ears, you might pick up it's not exactly the same, but it's like 95% the same. And I've had some feedback saying it's close enough. So yeah, I think it's close enough. So hopefully you will think so too. Let's begin by downloading the Labs Soft Piano plugin. This one you will find over at Spitfire.com, labs.spitfireaudio.com. And then you will just click the Start Free Trial button. Now you don't have to subscribe or anything. You can just select the free option and then download the app. You will have to create an account for it, but it's all good. You'll download the app, and once you do that, you will be able to open it up in your DAW or as a separate, standalone app, I believe. And then once you're inside of the UI for it, you can click the Get More Packs, find it under All Packs, then search for Soft Piano, and there are multiple, but Soft Piano is the free one. You can download that one. So after you have installed that one, we want to go to the UI for it. And by default, it will look like this. That's the default settings, but we need to tweak this a bit. Now, these settings that I'm going to show you aren't exact, but they're sort of like what I've tweaked around and felt it was close enough to the original sound. So the first one to 0.77, next one to 24%. And then for reverb, you want to set this at either 50 or 55. And I'll tell you that I have it on 55 during most of the verse. But for the first few seconds, I have automated it to be at 50. As you can see here, just start off at 50 in the first seconds, but then go to 55. Reason for that is just because I believe in the start of the song, it is set at 50 exactly, but seems to be more reverb during the rest of the song. So I just bump it to 55. I might be wrong, but it sounds good to me. So for your sake, keep it at 55 and you'll be happy with the sound. Next, after doing that, you want to add an EQ. Now in Logic, this is called a channel EQ. It's just a standard EQ plugin here. If you're using a different DAW, you'll have to bring up whatever EQ plugins you have there. The important part is that you can choose which frequencies to put these filters on, and that you can adjust how loud you want the filters to apply, and you can adjust how wide you want these to be, which is called the Q factor. At least in Logic it is. And if you can do that, you should be able to add these 5 settings I have on this EQ. There is a low shelf here at 29.2 Hertz, 2 bell filters, one at 79 Hertz, one at 515 Hertz. Then there's a high shelf at 1840 Hertz, and then a high cut at 11,100 Hertz. And you can see these decibel values as well that you can just copy, and these Q factor values that you'll need to apply as well to get this. So let's take a listen to what it sounds with and without this EQ. First, I'll turn it off. I also need to turn off all the other ones, of course. So now we're listening only to the Labs plugin as it is with our reverb setting set on it. Okay, and if we enable the EQ, it will sound like this. It's a bit less loud, if you can hear that, because we take away a lot of volume by lowering this one. But can you also hear the quality of the sound, how it's different without and with? It's quite different, and with the next step you'll hear it more significantly so. We will add next a gain plugin. In GarageBand it's called the same. In your DAW it might be called a volume or something else. It's basically just increasing the volume by 15 decibels. That's all you need to do. And that will bring the overall volume again up to something closer to the original volume. So let's turn this one on. It's just increasing by 15 dB. And now it sounds like this. Yeah, that's a lot louder, right, than before. So when turning it on, it immediately gets that loudness to it. If we compare it to the original and ours, isn't that already starting to sound almost the same? It's pretty close. It's pretty close already. So just with that one, these two things, the EQ and the gain, you are 80% there already. Speaking of gain, I have a joke for you. 2 audio engineers walk into a bar and one says to the other, he says, "I quit my job today." And the other one says, "Oh really? Why did you do that?" "Well, this client came in and he listened to my work and he said, that's terrible. The volume is way too low." And I said, "What, really? Oh man, that sucks." "Oh yeah, really? And what did you do then?" "Well, I had to do it all over again." But we will keep going. There's one more important thing to do. That is adding this direction mixer, as it's called in Logic. In your DAW, it might be called something else. What it does is it allows you to control the stereo width. So that's the keyword. Find something that allows you to make the stereo width less, not more, but less. So with this one turned on, you can hear a bit of the stereo effect that the notes are heard both on the right and left ear differently. If you're on laptop speakers, you might not hear the difference, but if you're using earpods or headset, you should be able to hear the difference quite easily. So let's hear it with it off first, and then on. Okay, did you hear that? I can make the effect more apparent by first turning this off and turning it all the way down to 0. That means making this a mono signal, no stereo at all, like the same sound on left and right. And that will have a special sound to it, as opposed to off and on, off and on. Can you hear that? So that has a good effect. And the original, I believe, is almost completely mono, but not quite, which is why you want to set this at somewhere between 0.10 and 0.34. And I think in my research, I've found that the lower end, the bass, is a bit less wide than the top, which is why I have used this feature in Logic, Split, which allows me to set different values for the highs as opposed to the lows. I have a crossover value at 390 Hertz, and then I have 0.34 for the high and 0.10 for the lows. Now, if you can't do this in your DAW, like in GarageBand, you don't have this option, just leave it at 0.34 and you'll be happy. Okay, that's all good. So with that, it sounds like this. And the original. Oh yeah, okay. Now we're really in the ballpark. Or much farther than the ballpark, really. We're on the green, so to speak. We're in the green and we want to put it down in the hole. And to do that, we will add this final effects. Now, if you're this far already, you might just be satisfied with this. It's fine. The rest are a bit more complicated, but really adds the final touches, I think, to make the sound almost exactly the same as the original. It's two more EQs here. One that controls the sides only, and one that controls the mid only. So instead of an IQ that applies for the whole audio, this one adjusts the side signal and the mid signal in the stereo field differently. So again, if you have Logic, you can just copy these settings for the EQ as you see them on the screen. Just pause the video and then enter each one of these. Just toggle them on and enter the values you see here. And then same for the other one, for the mid only. Just turn on these exact ones and then copy the values. And if you're using a different DAW, just find the correct filters. The one on the left is called a low cut or high pass, I believe it's also called. Then you have a low shelf, bell or peak, bell or peak, and then a high shelf, then a high cut or low pass filter with these values. Okay, but if you can't choose this processing side only and mid only, maybe just skip this one. It'll sound good either way. After that, I have a multipressor with just some tiny settings here to boost some of the higher frequencies. I've just gone in Logic here under, where is it? Dynamics and multipressor, this one. And I've not tweaked anything else but the values for these crossovers and these gains. That's all I've done. So I have one that starts at 260 to 3900. This one is boosting 1 dB. Then I have another one between 3900 and 7500. That one is boosting 1.5 dB. And then I have a final boost above 7500 at 3.5 dB. And that just gives a bit more clarity and sharpness, I think, to the audio, which is something I felt was needed at this stage. We can listen to it with and without that. You might not hear the difference unless you're using a good set of speakers or headphones. So this is without. And this is with. Without and with. Okay, maybe you heard it, maybe not, but it's something I added because I thought it was needed. And finally, final step, this compressor. I've added it because it just takes away a little bit of the top peaks of the audio and sort of rounds it out a bit, I think. And looking at the waveform of the original, I think the original is slightly compressed as well. You don't really need this. You might not hear the difference, but I chose to add it. I've only used the default settings in Logic. So I went to compressor and stereo and just left the settings alone. If you're using a different DAW, you will probably have to copy, if you want this compressor at all, that is, you will have to copy these settings for the threshold, ratio, makeup, knee, attack, and release. No extra output gain. Yeah, just a pure, simple, small compressor there. And with that, we now have this sound. And the original, could you hear a difference? I could hardly. To end this, I will now bounce this to a wave file with these settings. And that will allow us to see the waveform side by side with the original. And we can really compare how close they are to each other. So I've muted this one, and with the solo button, I'm able to toggle which one we are hearing. So when the blue one is active, we are hearing that one. When the green one is active, we are hearing that one. So I will toggle between these two so you can hear how close they are. This is the original. And this is ours. Original, ours. Original, ours. Original, and ours. Quite close, yeah. Chorus. Original, ours. Original, ours. Can you hear any difference? And that's it. If you made it this far, thank you. And if you want to thank me for this video, just click that thank you button. It's shaped like this thumb kind of thing down below there. Just hit that one. That would be nice. If you want more content like this, I have a few other videos on Gibran Alcocer's style of music. You can check those out and check the description for the downloadable resources if you have not already. All right, see you later.